Hi everyone, welcome to my video today. Just as a quick side note, it's actually started snowing here in London, which is quite unique. I'm actually quite shocked and surprised. The reason being is I come from down south and it hardly ever snows, and this is the first time I've actually seen snow in about 2 years. So that's a little bit of a detour of my excitement for today. So my video is going to be based on the power of asking. So delivering tips in terms of how you can reach new people, and basically I'll try and do like an example text in terms of how you can ask people for certain things. So the context of this came about from two sources actually. So one source came about from my recent, I suppose, outreach and asking new people within the field of user experience design, or UX as it's commonly abbreviated as. And I've had to basically outreach new people to ask for their help, ask them about their advice in terms of career development, looking at new projects, and looking at skills and I suppose software that I can use to go into the field of UX from marketing. So that was pretty scary, approaching new people, and understanding specifically what I wanted from them and what help and how I can help them at the same time. So make sure that it's a two-way street. The second part came about from a course that I'm doing at the moment called Creative Impact, which is focused on building a project based on having positive impact in the world, but that's looking at social impact, economic, or environmental, or a combination of all three. And for this approach, I need to make sure that I contact people in terms of asking their advice for graphic design. Because for me, I know that although I can do posters, I can create new brand collateral, I'm really not that great at creating logos. And for me, I know it would take time to do it. So I've had to outsource uh, basically tasks like that to other people and ask for their help, and again deliver my advice to them as well. So again, making a two-way street. So yeah, and I've realized actually by asking people and building connections, I'm building a great community. I'm basically meeting people that are absolutely fantastic and really interesting. And I've also come to realize the fact that my journey, my career journey, and where I want to go with my entrepreneurial side of things is not a one, it's not a lonely path to go on. No matter, even with the pandemic, it's still easy to reach people. In fact, I think it's more easy to reach out to people because people are more at home, they've got more time on the internet. And for them, you can easily reach out to people and ask what specifically you want the help from. So, taking those learnings, I've had to really, I suppose, develop how I ask and approach people, whether that's via online, I suppose on email, or even social media. I've had to sort of develop how I can actually approach people. So, pretty much the standard lettering and concept that I've developed for this video has wider success than previous examples that I've done. So, my main approach has been to ask for advice, and this is the main format that I've used in terms of approaching people. I've also taken inspiration from other, I suppose, Medium blogs or even articles online, to ask about how to specifically tailor an email or a social media post or message to tailor it to the individual and actually take advice from them in terms of making it more deliverable and more easy to read. Now, before I go on to my 5-step process that I use, I should note that people are pretty busy. I mean, particularly if you're approaching somebody who's quite high profile, they're not going to have a lot of time to, if you write loads and loads of words, like an essay, they want a brief, concise message. And if you can communicate that well, they'll either skim past it and then actually read it, or they might ignore it, or they might take action straight away. So you need to make sure that it's clean and concise of what you want from them and what you want from the actual specific situation that you're trying to email them to. I'd also say this is the best way to build new connections. Just outreaching new people that you find interesting and try to look for a way to connect with them. So, without further ado, here is my 5-step process that I take to approach new people and actually outreach for their advice. So, number one is before you even start writing it, have a plan of what you're going to write about. Have that, as it's been con within a few articles I've read, have a Northern Star. What do I want them to take action on? That's the main question you need to ask when writing emails. So when you plan it, have that title on top, but remember to remove it when you've actually sent the email or message or whatever you're going to use. So that's the thing. The first part is you put like, dear, ask them basically what specifically attracted you to email them specifically is, and try and build a connection with them straight away from that. Look at something that, like a news article, do research on their own personal profile and just get a connection of who they are. Number 3 is set about why you want to contact them specifically, what you want from them. Keep it to one task scenario. Don't overload them with loads and loads of questions because they are just going to not have time. They're going to buzz off and they'll be like, well, no, I'm not actually interested. You're asking me too much. Keep it to one question, one precise question that is clean, concise, and actionable at the same time. Number 4 is give a detail about your own personal profile. Now, don't go into detail in terms of, oh, I was born at this day, I did this and that. Write down your own personal story that relates back to the ask you're asking them from, and also how it relates to the advice you're seeking from them. So, give a personal example is in June this year, I reached out to about 15 professionals within the UX community. They're really high up in terms of their positions, their knowledge, and they're pretty short on time in terms of what you're trying to ask them. So for me, I related back to the fact that although I'm in marketing, I had a really high interest in going into user experience design, but I wasn't sure in terms of where to go and what to do next. And that was the question I asked them. But then I connected it back to the reason why I wanted to go into UX. So that was kind of the concise message behind me in that situation at that time. Number 5 is make sure that you put your profile details at the bottom, just something that they can trace back to see actually you are a genuine person. You're not a robot asking me to be phishing emails. You're asking me for something concise and I can relate back to you and there is evidence you exist. So that's the 5-step process that I'll take. Now I know that could be seen very much on video, that can be quite hard to say, okay, then you give me this advice, but how do I actually write an email, Sam? So here's my steps that I would take in terms of writing an email for somebody. So I would start with, dear somebody, blah, 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 blah. Hope you're well. And the reason why I say hope you're well, or give something short introduction to like ask them about themselves. Then go about, oh, I saw that you're in this article, da, 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 and I'm reaching out to you for da, 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 da. Give them something to boost their ego, basically, within the first sentence. And then I'll go on to about the project. So personally, I'm involved with this, this, and this. However, I'm looking to boost my knowledge within this field. And the reason why I approached you is because of this, this, and this. Here is a link to my profile. Thank you for your time, and we'll look forward to hearing you from the future. I wonder if you have any time within the next couple of weeks for discussion. Many thanks, or yours sincerely, So I kind of did it in a slightly different order, but hopefully you get context of how to write the email. It's just, that's a template rather than actually saying, repeating, oh, I'm going to write this out. So that's giving you advice in terms of how to write out and reach people. One thing I'd say is, although this template has been amazing for reaching out to the right people, I have had not zero success. Like I've had some failures in terms of people not approaching me, and you feel a bit naff, if I'll be honest, because you feel like you've put in the effort to write to them, research them, or specifically something. But remember, that's not a reflection on you. And don't feel bad even for the other person. Just remember they are busy as well, and the fact that they may not find a connection with you and to actually go further with this project. And that's the thing. I think I found actually the people that I've basically made friends with from this have actually been people I can build a wider connection with, just not from the ask them. It's kind of like a wider scope in terms of it's a two-way contact now, and it's a two-way ask as well for help. So keep us persevering and actually using this advice, the steps and the template that I've basically spoken about. Hopefully you can use this for your own projects or ask to new people, and yeah, so hopefully you'll get some success from this. So thank you for watching my video today. Look forward to speaking to you guys soon. Ciao for now.